look in our local governance system. They use the case study, use in-depth interview and things to get the data that they were looking for within the one municipality, and then they came out with some results or findings, which meant that several women were affected due to their social cultural practices, inability to get access to financial resources. They look at the competence or the courage of women in going into politics, and then the perception that politics happens to be a dirty game, happens to be some of the findings that the authors came out with. And from the work, what I realized was taking the second finding, which happens to be on financial resource. They said that one of the consensual or one of the writers, they source one Alexander 2012, who said that financial resource was a challenge to women in participating in politics. But reading from the explanation of the authors, what I said, they said they were trying to say that that isn't the issue over there. But after saying that isn't the issue, they go ahead to talk about some of the work that the women in WA do. That's brewing of pito and those kind of stuff, and came out to conclude that due to that, they do not have enough resources, of which I think that their contradiction to what the guy said, they could not make that contradiction, because the guy said that financial resource was a challenge, of which these authors, their conclusion over there also saw that it was a financial challenge that affected women over there. So to me, that particular point over there, of which they have tried to contradict, they were not able to come out with tangible, let's say, findings to contradict what the guy actually said. And then looking at the setting of WA, where is mostly dominated or have a lot of Muslims within the enclave, I should think that they should have added their religion to some of the findings that they had, in that religion, specifically Islam, also speaks on submission of women to men, of which I think it's one of the reasons why women also within those enclave or within the one municipality are unable to participate in the local governance system. I think this is some of the things I found out reading the article by Dr. De Graft and his group.
Okay.
So that is to say that George is talking about the criticisms that he
Yes,
wants us to.
George submission is mainly on the writer's findings and some criticism. So
Okay, let me add something to his Muslims point of the Muslims point of view, because I also agree with him, and I found out that in 2010, you see, their research was done in 2015, but then Ghana Statistical Services had released the population, the demography of WA municipality, and in 2010, per the Statistical Services reports, WA municipality had a figure of 107,214, and out of that, the Muslims constituted 70,620. That is 55.9%. So going by Joyce's point, it is to buttress that indeed the researchers, if they had cast their mind on the Muslims' composition of one municipality, they had also gotten something from the religious background, because the Muslims will not allow women to lead them. Automatically, if they had that huge number, it will play a factor. So I go by Joyce's point that they did not look at that one, or they overlooked at it.
All right. So are we talking about the criticism first, or we are looking at it in general?
I think that's what
We we are looking at what each has gathered. And so if you have something that is about whether a criticism
Yeah,
or
I look at some of the strengths that could be found in the work.
okay,
And for me, if you look at the language that was used, it was
okay,
so simple. Anybody who reads it will be able to understand it. So these are the few things. And then second one, if you look at the arrangement of the topics, that one too was okay. It was well arranged. And then they were able to come out with how they were able to gather data for the research,
yes.
the technique that they used, the methodology, everything was specified. And I think we can add those ones to the classes that we can give. And then the next one, the theory that the author also used was detailed in the work. He was able to state the theory to support the work, the feminist theory, which was
Yeah.
so relevant to the work that they did. So we can have to the spend part.
Okay.
But the weaknesses, if you have other points, I think we can add more.
Where is Mr. Godwin? He's not talking.
He said he can't hear us. I don't know.
Uh, I think what George and Francie has said is like what the criticisms that are found in the work. But what I will add is that the sample size that they used was very small. Even though they say 1 minute, but if you check the number, the sample that they used, it was very small. And this cannot be used to generalize for the whole Ghana. Yes. So I think they should have done a comparative studies, like trying to get data from other part of Ghana to see if, aside the cultural and religion factors that George and Co has mentioned, which is dominant, like patriarchy and the Muslims to preaching on submission is dominant over there. So if they had conducted or like use any other setting as their sample size or population to compare the data and see if the result they've gotten is valid and like and can be used for generalization. So to me, their sample size was very small. So
Okay. Um, for the sample size, there's the small nature of the sample size and its generalization. I look at it in this way. You see, they never generalized it entirely, but they looked at the theories from various authorities and the various conferences that had come out with some point that is discriminating against women participation in public affairs, and that they concentrated on the one municipality. So the work itself was for the one municipality. So if we are looking at the sample size, we should look at the population of 102,000, and then we look at the sample size. Sorry, if the sample size matches the population of 100 and something thousand, then we can criticize or we can leave it like that. But to say Wa and the entire nation will be wrong. That is where I look at it from. But I also look
I
at it.
think we should understand his topic. I'm not cutting you short.
Okay,
But I
you can
realize
come in.
that his topic is women's participation and representation in local level governance in Ghana. He's only using the one municipality as a case study.
Okay, in Ghana, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, okay, okay. So that is to say that after Wa, it is being generalized.
That
Yes.
is it.
Okay, okay. I did not look at that Ghana first, but I was concentrated because I do not have the topic in front of me. But my concentration was the Wa thing.
Okay.
In this case, I think um, he could have used the nearby municipalities or any other. But let's look at this in this way. If that is the case, then can we say that they did not talk about the religious factor? Because these factors will not match in other areas. Or since he concentrated in the municipality, we should look at it.
Now, I think what you said is right. In the sense that there's variations in areas. Okay,
Mhm.
one variable may work in one specific area, but might not necessarily work in another area. And so
Mhm.
that's why Billy Joe said that at least he could have situated it or compared it to other area. Me, I should think that
Okay.
specifically to even other regions, maybe down a little bit down south, so
Mhm.
that at least there could be some comparison in the work and find out if indeed there's some kind of match between the two. Then we can
Okay.
use that one to generalize the entire country. And I think
All
that there should have been something like a comparative study over there.
all right.
Okay. Please,
But I
any
think that,
other submission?
but and I see that in fact they did good job, because if you looked at it critically, then you can see that all over Ghana, women participation is low, as they pointed out, and the factors they were able to find can be generalized
Okay.
across Africa, in Ghana or across Africa. Because if you look at the women mentality of dirty politics, or politics being a dirty game, it is facing women everywhere. That perception comes out as a result of that people who have the courage to enter into politics are perceived to be either arrogant or whore. So many people think that you go with your body. If you could recollect what Kofi Juma one time said,
Mm.
uh, the negative thing he said about my part during the primaries, it wasn't as perfect as the gentleman could have said. And then if you look at perception about Eslausu, and then Anita Disoso, and if you look at the NDC Women's Organizer currently, um,
And I miss you.
Hannah Bisiu, if you looked at perception of these, the general perception on these people, then critically, because the way if you see a woman who is courage and able to articulate well, the person is branded arrogant. And then if you are so submissive to this perception, is that you are using your body for whatever gains that you are obtaining. So indeed, they did a thorough research, and that is true. Talking about financial too, there's nothing that you cannot say about it. So I know that their findings in one municipality can be generalized nationwide.
Okay, I think we can also look at the time. You see, their work came like it was. You can right in the strength. You can mention that it was timely in the sense that it came at a time that there were a lot of campaign against gender inequality, then trying to increase women participation, and also a lot of these affirmative policies and the quota system programs were being introduced. So their work too was timely. That's what I can say.
Okay, let me ask this. Now, we are reviewing his work, okay?
Yes.
And in this situation, the work is between him and two other people. So
Yes.
how do we use? Are we supposed, if you are to talk about the authors, are we supposed to talk about all these three authors, or we are supposed to use him alone, since he's the one that we know?
He is the leader, not
He's the
the one we
main
know.
author. I think the rest will be maybe TS or
Uh,
so.
he is the leader of the research team, and
The
not
rest
not
may.
necessarily knowing him. But so
Okay.
I think that in the insight, yeah, in the in test, if you want to cite them, you can just shorten it, mention the graft ita, and then the reference, you bring all the names and then you reference them. So I think once you mention, I think they are saying we have no longer time limit or something.
What I think we are supposed to rejoin by using the same link.
Okay, no, I think it says it has no time limit, so we can continue.
you have to rather increase it.
Yes.
Oh, okay. So I was looking at Dr. Bob Melia's research work that he has done, or a review of books that he has done, and in most of the reviews that he does, he tried as much as possible to say something about the author. Hope you understand.
Okay.
In this situation where there are three, and you are writing about the authors, are you supposed to write about all the three authors, or you're supposed to restrict yourself to one author?
I also thought of that, I wanted to talk about his stay over there. He has stayed there for some time. Because of that, he got like in touch with the people, now know their culture and what they practice there. So he decided to write something about that. And that one too has actually influenced his style of writing. But here maybe yes, I think you can just bring talk about that individual that you know. Yes, for him. In this case, you can mention his name. But when you are talking about something which is general, you can use the right text. That's the way I try I did. Like I use his own when where I talk about him, I just use his name. But generally I use the writers. The writers said it, the writers argue this.
Okay. So in this situation, are we supposed to use authors or writers?
Yeah, all they say.
It's an article, so you have to use writers. George.
Are they the same, authors and writers? Now, are they not synonymous?
For the
Oh, they are the
authors,
same.
I've seen people using them interchangeably, but I don't actually know the difference.
George.
Yeah.
But mostly we use the authors for books published by people.
Okay.
And then the writers are for the journals and then the articles. But you can still use writer for a book, but we don't usually use author for articles and then journals.
Dave, tell your children that they are worrying you.
It is rather me.
Oh, okay. I thought it is Dave.
I don't have
an author is an originator or a creator of
listen to the response of Dave.
Okay.
I say I don't have a child. Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't know that you were so sarcastic. Dave, sorry. I shouldn't have responded. And he says an author is the originator or creator of a work that is literary composition. So it can be used coterminously with writer.
Okay.
Still, Godwin have not been able to join.
Yes, and Abna, I think she has been reading thoroughly. So this one she would have been one of the greatest contributors. So I was expecting him to.
Abna is off. Abna is off. I think she could not make it.
Abna is finding difficult with the technology. She is definitely a BBC person.
Hey.
But as it stands now, Godwin is also off. I don't know. But
So
Eben too was on the platform. Why is he not joining? We were all deliberating on why MPHIL was not up.
okay.
But
Yes,
a champion is here. Yeah. James is here.
Okay. So any other contribution then? See,
Yeah, I think I'm exhausted. I do not have much because it is like you've said all. Because since now can we look at recommendation?
Yeah, may have recommended that in future there should be a comparative study or a replicative study of the same using the same method in other parts of Ghana to validate, like to see whether we can use what the findings will get the same findings. So if we are not able to get the same findings, so we can falsify his conclusion. So that is the recommendation I made. So
okay, and I also want to recommend that since research is to find, in fact, this social work research is to solve the societal problems, and it is found. I think it needs to be implemented by our various policymakers because it shall be sitting down like that forever. Whichever means we make a comparative research in future to find out more. If it does not become practicable, it will be sitting in books and knowledge will be wasted.
okay.
People will keep on researching, findings will come. Various policymakers need to indeed practicalize it.
Okay. And I want to ask this so that we can add it to the review. Please, can we elaborate on the contribution of gender as the gender as one of the themes in comparative politics, and this work in particular to the the study of comparative politics as a discipline, like the contribution to it.
He said, please, on the more serious, let me ask this before we end. How many pages did he say we should work on?
I think he said maximum or minimum 4, but my own is not even up to 4.
It says the maximum or minimum should be 4. Yeah?
I didn't get him. It's like he said that.
Oh, okay.
I think George has 7 already.
7.
He said
George has 7 already.
7.
What I have here is
Your mic is off.
Hey, George has mute.
So George, review your reviewed work.
George has mute.
The mic is off.
Benjamin too has mute.
George, your mic is off. Charles, your mic is off. James
Benjamin,
and your mic are off.
Okay, George has.
Is he gone?
No, I'm not gone.
Okay. We are listening.
No, I was asking number of pages, and then a call came in and I need to cut the call and come back.
Okay.
So I don't know what you people are discussing.
So what I asked, the contribution of gender, and in particular this this study by Dr. De Graaf to and understanding of comparative politics as a discipline, or to the study of comparative politics as a discipline. Can we just say something around that? It's also like when you are writing a review, it's good to bring the contribution of that particular word to the discipline.
Contribution of women, right?
Like, yeah, women or women participate, women, gender, like, yes, anything around that to
In that
comparative.
case, you are looking at the strengths of women in public affairs, isn't it?
What I'm asking, when you go to any discipline, they have those variables that helps them to, like, those variables that they rely on in that study. And I remember when he started the lecture, he mentioned some of those things I will be looking. He mentioned gender, the types of government, and this in comparative politics is just about those, should I say, things, or like those concepts. So I want to see, one, gender studies, is it relevant in in understanding comparative politics?
For me, for this week, let's leave it out.
Let's leave
For
it
me,
out.
and for this week, let's leave that one out.
Okay. But do you have any view on that?
No, exactly.
Okay.
But I think
Okay,
Brother James wants to talk, but I need to seek permission and then attend to the kids.
Okay.
So Billy Joe, I wish you well. Perhaps next year you'll get yours.
Yes. Hey. Hey, Francis. Hey.
Don't push him to write for the wrong person, please. Just allow him to take and get the best that will fit him.
Okay. Okay, James, we are listening.
Anyway,
to
please. Kindly sort it out. For instance, like we see that their writings, they have their of with references there. So let me use this one as an example, as the distance. Is it benefits or what? So let me read this as an example. The authors also made mention that women participation and representation in politics promotes democratic governance, political equality, and justice, which are the key requirements for effective development, citing Kurebwa 2014 as a source of this information. Do I need to also indicate their source of information, or I should leave their source of information blank?
Is it when you are talking about their strengths and weaknesses, or what? James?
No, I mean in the review process,
James, your network.
This one talks about one important the authors also made mention that women participation and representation in politics promotes democratic governance, political equality, and justice, which are the key requirements for effective development, citing Kurebwa 2014 as a source of this information. Like this one is about the importance of women participation and representation in politics. And I mean that this information, they got it from a certain literature or do I need to also cite those references in that way, or I should leave those references away?
No, you are supposed to cite them.
Okay, so how I cited them is somewhere. Let me read how I cited them. Citing Kurebwa 2014 as a source of this information. Is that right?
Me on my thinking, okay. I should think that you should reference it in relation to the authors. That the authors cited, hope you understand, because you may not be the main source of this quotes.
Okay. Okay. But look at it. It means that because I said the authors also made mention that women participation and representation in politics promote democratic governance, political equality, and justice, which are the key requirements for effective development, citing Kurebwa 2014 as a source of this information.
This is the way you reference
or
it.
as a source of their information.
James. Hello.
Yes, sir.
When you are citing that,
Yes, sir.
Mention the author's name. I don't know that I can't pronounce the name as you mentioned. Then you put the year, close the bracket and say cited in. Then you bring the word that you are reading, Dr. DeGrauson, cited in or cited by. You can use that. Then you cite that one nicely. You bring in the first name of the second name of the author and the date, the year. So you are to, in this case, you cite both. By in between there, you say cited by or cited in. Just then you cite this one too.
Okay.
There is one app that we normally use to cite. I think we have to get time and discuss that to here. The app helps a lot. That's what I've been using to cite my work. So I don't know if we'll get time and discuss that.
Okay. Okay, thanks a lot.
I think people are gradually leaving the meeting. So if we don't have anything, we can.
I think we said 30 minutes. I think we've gone by 30 minutes. I think we have spent about 50 minutes now.
Yes. So
I think it's not bad, but since we can host it, we should just make it available on the page to let people know that tomorrow we'll be doing probably the other work by Dr. DeGraft. You know, he gave us another comparative work to do.
Yes.
Assignment.
Yes.
On that, a review on the book that he gave us.
The past events, yes.
The past and present, whatever. Yes. Yes. I should think that tomorrow also earlier on we should try and do that work too. I should think so. So we should put it on the page. Since now somebody can host it, I think it will be the best. But did you go to the campus to do it or what?
Yes, I'm on campus.
Eesh.
Right.
As early as that.
Yeah, yesterday I did not go home. I stayed with a guy, a colleague on campus there. So I'm now going home.
You are continuing your studies.
I'm going home.
So
I'm not going, yes.
All right. So I think we can put it on a platform that tomorrow we may attend to that particular work.
Yes.
Then subsequently attend to the work by the political theory by okay, yes, so that we can clear all our assignments, then think of other things.
Yes. Okay. Thank you very much.
okay, Dave.
All right.